Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of a double feature. Like we told you guys last week, this week we are taking a look at the 2014 Oscar nominees for the categories of Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. And for whatever reason, if at this point in the game, with the Oscars being 2 weeks away, if you still have not heard who the nominees are, I will give you a quick rundown, very quick. For the film American Hustle, we have Christian Bale for Best Actor, and we have Bradley Cooper for Best Supporting. For Nebraska, the film Nebraska, Best Actor, Bruce Dern, Then for 12 Years a Slave, for Best Actor, we have Chiwetel Ejiofor. Sure. And Michael Fassbender for Best Supporting. And then for The Wolf of Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio Best Actor, and Jonah Hill for Best Supporting. And then finally, for the film Dallas Buyers Club, we have Matthew McConaughey Best Actor and Leto Best Supporting Actor. I am missing one. Sorry. Captain Phillips, Best Supporting Actor nominee is Barkhad Abadi?
Sure.
Abdi? Okay, there we go. So those are the actors we're going to be talking about today. And you know what, Derek? Let's start it off by talking about the two films that only have one nomination. Let's talk about Nebraska and let's talk about Captain Phillips.
Alrighty.
And you know what? Let's start with Captain Phillips. So, first off, in my personal opinion, I feel like Barkhad Abdi, whatever, for as minimal lines as he had in the film, I still thought he did a tremendous job. I felt like his role, it was a very subtle role, a very minimal role, but a very interesting role, because the entire movie, he's dealing with sort of commitment to these men who, again, and that was really underplayed. I didn't really understand that completely. I felt like they could have done a little more with that, but That's besides the point. But these mob bosses or whoever these guys are, telling him to go out, but then there was almost this commitment of, there was almost this other side of, there's nothing else for me to do. I mean, Captain Phillips is like, what are you? Do other things. And he's like, this is all I have. This is all I can do. Maybe in America there's other jobs, but here in the Horn of Africa, this is all we have.
He's picked up a few awards along the way, but I don't know if an Oscar is going to be in his grasp.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a chance, honestly. As good of a performance as it was, I don't think he has a chance. I definitely felt like worth a recognition. I didn't feel like there was anyone in both categories where it was kind of like they were kind of pulling at straws.
Yeah.
I felt like every nomination was deserved, except for, I guess that's not true. There is one that I'm still wondering about, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But let's jump over to Nebraska real quick. Just real quick. Again, another film, Bruce Dern. I've never heard of him. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else. But it was a film that took me by surprise. I really went to see this film with very minimal expectations. Didn't really know what I was expecting. Didn't really know, but he played this very multifaceted old man who, basically wants to be a millionaire, but's never told anybody, and hates his wife and keeps trying to run away, and he's got this broken relationship with his children, and he's trying to mend it, and it was just a very, very interesting role. It wasn't like he took on an accent or he played a woman or, nothing like that. I just, the character was interesting, and he did a successful job at helping me emotionally connect with that character. Let's talk about, not real quick, but let's just get this over with now. Let's talk about The Wolf of Wall Street.
All right.
Okay. I will caveat this by saying that I have not seen the film, and as a film enthusiast, I am refusing to see the film for various reasons. For various reasons, which if you are curious, you can reach out to me in the various social media, or you can send me a personal message via Facebook. But I do not doubt Leonardo DiCaprio's acting abilities. I'm sure he does an amazing job. And from the clips I've seen and from the trailer and from everything I've read, sounds like he definitely deserves a nomination. Sounds like he did a very good job at portraying this man very accurately. And in fact, I watched an interview where this real life character said he requested Leonardo DiCaprio to play him because he felt like he would do the best job. So I thought that was rather interesting that he sort of handpicked the actor to play him. So anyways, but in my personal opinion, I would have taken out Jonah Hill for Best Supporting Actor, and I would have replaced him with Tom Hanks in Saving Mr. Banks.
Okay.
Personal preference, of course. This is all personal preference, but Jonah Hill, in my mind, is a comedian. And from what I've seen in the film, maybe he plays a serious role, but from what I've seen in this film, he's a comedian.
Yeah.
Not that that's bad, but in my opinion, the Oscar goes to someone who shows great depth and great, maybe, what's the right word? Maybe brevity? Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. And I just don't know if this film shows that of Jonah Hill. Not that he's capable, I'm sure he's capable of brevity, but I just don't think this is a film that we saw that in.
First of all, you're right. I think DiCaprio is fabulous, fantastic. The guy just does an amazing job with all of the roles that he's given.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I might be borderline saying there's a conspiracy going on in Hollywood that he's never won. Ever.
True. That's true.
Come so close so many times. Lots of snubs. Tons of snubs.
Yeah.
I don't think this is his year either, but I don't know. For Jonah Hill, though, you're right. I do think he's a comedic actor, but I think that's the charm of the characters that he plays. But you have this character who, if anybody else in the world was to look at this character, they would just say, paper cut him over this way. But right. By giving him a comedic edge, rounding out some corners, it makes the character now interesting and captivating, and one that you want to keep watching. And I think that is Jonah Hill's great talent with some of these characters. Okay. But I think something that we can point out for a lot of these, we just look at the amount of people or films that the best actor and supporting actor were nominated, actress and supporting actress is nominated, because I think that's the sign of a really good movie, is when these performances sync together so well that we can't think of one without the other. And I think that's exactly what's going on here in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with you on that. And actually, that's a great time to segue to Dallas Buyers Club, because that's exactly how I felt about Dallas Buyers Club. Okay. I felt like Matthew McConaughey's performance was, it's breathtaking. I'll flat out say it. he deserves it. Him and Jared Leto both deserve it. They both deserve the win on this one because I think Matthew McConaughey just plays this man who is, for lack of a better word, I mean, he's a homophobe. And the fact that people are calling him a homosexual drives him crazy. He's like, no, you're wrong. I do not have HIV. There's no possible way. I am as heterosexual as you can possibly be. And he, and then he comes to find out that unprotected sex can lead to that as well. And so he goes, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember that one time, and bam, he's got HIV. But then he partners with the most unlikely person of all. He partners with a transvestite. And Jared Leto, oh my gosh, just the whole film, I could not see him. I mean, I saw a woman. I mean, that is how well he did. Just the makeup and the hair and just the body language. I mean, both of them, and then together they had such great on-screen chemistry. They were an amazing duo. And to your point, I think that's what makes a great film, is when both of them kind of come together, it makes for a great experience. So, another film, though, that's just raking in a ton of Oscars. In fact, 2 for Best, 2 for Actress, 2 for Actor, and Best Picture. Let's talk about American Hustle.
All right. Bale.
What do you think about these men? Yeah. This is their second go-around with David O. Russell. Both of them.
Yep. But this is the first time they've done it together, right?
That's true. Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to say about American Hustle?
Nope.
Yeah, Cooper was good, but yeah, all right.
Jerry Curls.
Okay, so
yeah, sorry, the afro.
The afro, right? Yeah, that was
grease in there to be Jerry Curls.
Yeah, that's true. All right, we've saved the cream of the crop for last. Let's talk about 12 Years a Slave.
Oh man. Which one do you want to start with first?
Let's start with Best Supporting. Let's start with Michael Fassbender. Tell me about him.
I still would not like to meet this guy in a dark alley.
Yeah, right. I know.
He can be just so nonchalant with the other white men that come to the place, but at the same time, as he's doing sort of his buddy stuff with them, talking, shooting the breeze, you just see that he's a monster. And then as soon as the white guy leaves, he's a monster. And he brings such an intensity to that role.
Yeah, no, this was a role I didn't expect. And maybe it's just because, I saw him as Magneto, and I was afraid.
You were afraid you were going to see Magneto?
Right. I mean, it's the same thing with Dallas Buyers Club. I've just seen Matthew McConaughey and Michael Fassbender in more of these just fun action adventure shoot 'em up movies, and so I just didn't really know what to expect from both of them. I didn't know if it was just going to be terrible or amazing, and he really took me by surprise. He, agreed. Just played the stereotypical that we've all read about in history books and in other texts, slave owner, and I think he just nailed it on the head. And I think of anyone on the list, he is probably the biggest contender to beat Jared Leto, in my opinion. I do think Jared Leto will win, but if I had to pick a second, I think it would be Michael Fassbender for sure. With the Best Actor, he just did his greatest strength, I thought, was playing this from the perspective of a free man. He's a free man. He was wrongly accused. He's now basically in exile, essentially. He's on this plantation. He's got chances to run away, but I guess he tries to, but then doesn't. And then it's just, his sort of mentality on life shifts a little bit. He's hopeful in the beginning, but then kind of becomes I'm just going to put my head down and suffer. And him and Fassbender together, their on-screen chemistry was just amazing. And you're right. I mean, I think this year, both of them deserve it, and the only reason why I think Dallas Buyers Club may beat it is because 12 Years a Slave will probably win Best Picture. If you haven't already guessed, next week is our last week in the Oscar run. We'll be taking a look at the Best Picture category and talk about all those films and obviously give our predictions, and then just a few days later it'll be the Oscars. So it'll be exciting to see if all these different predictions we've made, if we're right or wrong. But that should wrap it up for this week. So thanks for tuning in. As always, you can leave your thoughts and comments in the notes section below about who you think will win and who you think is maybe you think differently than we do. And if so, we'd love to hear about it in the comments section. Of course, as always, you can find all of our social media links in the notes section below. And until next week when we talk about Best Picture, go out and watch good movies, because there are a ton of them to watch right now. So go watch them. And we will see you guys next week.